Get it on.
What is up, everybody? It's ISJD come to you from Glorious Shadowville. Welcome to another Saturday stream. Fall Guys Day, so you've got to be pretty chipper. You've got to be pretty happy. It's a weekend. What could be wrong? Holy, other than being mad tired, but which is weird because I feel like I had a decent sleep. Yet still tired. Oh, getting old sucks, folks. It sucks. But we are playing some Fall Guys, and that is always 99%, 98% of the time a pick-me-up. So let's just jump right into it and have some fun today. It was great having Ninja Chalu on the Fast Penguins stream on Thursday. That was nice to see somebody in and chatting on that stream. Fast Penguins essentially Fall Guys light. I guess they are vastly different, but both entertaining. Somehow Fast Penguins seems to be a little bit more frustrating than this, which is surprising. Didn't think I'd ever be saying that, because this game can get me pretty frustrated. We'll see how it goes today. Maybe there's a crown in my future. Maybe there's not. Likely not. But we'll see. Get out of my way. How does it? I like it. Uh-oh. This isn't started off pretty well. Qualification starts with one. Let me get my vites in me. Get old vitamins. Magnesium, B complex. Definitely a bunch of vitamin D. Some of the omegas. The 369 version. Those of you that were here last week, I'm not sure. No, I don't think it was this one. Okay, it wasn't this hoverboard round. It was one that essentially like that looked like it went around in the circle with like those laser beams that shot up from the ground. That was giving me some trouble last week. I do that not every time. I do that very often. I just get, oh, time to go. Whoops. Whoops. Rock the Casbah. You guys talk. Oh no. I had first in the bag. In the bag. And I was in second on that. After all that, I still was in second. Might not be a strong field. Uh-oh. Where's that little bird? Where'd that bird go? There it is. I like that. I like that skin. I like that bird skin. Ugh. Ugh. Gross. I think I just saw somebody disappear. All right, folks. All right. How are we doing this? Orange. Cherry. On orange. Beside a cherry. Come on, orange. Interesting. Grapes, bananas, cherries. Grapes, bananas, cherries, orange. Grapes, banana, cherry, orange. Or peach, whatever that might be. Come on, banana. Banana, grape, orange, watermelon. Oof. There is an orange. Banana, orange. Oh no. Orange, peach. Watermelon. I'll take it. ba, ba, ba. This is the one that was rushing me. Oh my god. Oof, I do not like this clipping, these frame rate issues. Wow, on PlayStation? Better than this. Oh, my nose. Oh, my nose. Oh, no. Dopensy. That's a gold cup. Oof, down to 4. I don't know why this keeps dropping the sound on that. Four people to start the final. My god. My god. Do I need to get my sounds up and going? Is it a day for triple horn? And this is and it's tight. And it's a tight space. No, sir. That snowman should have been downed. How is that dude hanging on for so long? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I protest. Oh my god. Unreal. That might have been my chance for a crown. Might have been my chance for a crown.
LA.
Everybody.
Hi, I'm Chris Hutchinson,
And I'm Tom Hutchinson,
and we're here with
Gonna listen
Dr.
to some
Casper.
Casper
bringing you
stuff.
monthly news and updates of all things Casper.
Let's get into it.
All right, Hutchinsons.
So, before we kick off with all the juicy updates, we just wanted to wish all our followers a very happy new year. It's been an exciting year for Casper, and I've got a feeling that next year, or this year now, is going to be just as exciting.
Yeah, here's hoping. There's certainly so much lined up for this year in Casper already, and I cannot wait to see all these updates coming out and the network truly flourishing. So, cheers to all the Casperians out there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's take a look at dev and tech updates.
So, the Casper Testnet 11 hard fork has been successfully activated. This latest release includes all of the latest optimizations that the devs have been working on over the past months. It's been running smoothly for a month now, and there is a call to action for pools and exchanges, integrators to run
What is
Testnet
up?
11 node and to test their own
Welcome
software
to the
against
stream,
it.
my friends.
So, if you want to help in this next exciting stage,
I'm
of
just listening to
Casper's
some
journey,
Casper
then
stuff on the side here, as you can
consider
tell.
this. And Coder of Stuff has made some great instructions that he's put on GitHub, which can be found in the link somewhere. So definitely have a look at that, and please jump in and help.
Oh,
Yeah, brilliant news, and it's just that step closer.
I
to
hope you're
having
okay with listening to
Testnet
some
11
Casper
or
stuff
10
on
per
the
second
side.
on main
How are you?
next. And when that comes,
Fortunately,
it's going to be a
I can't read those characters,
for everyone.
but welcome to the stream.
Casper is the infrastructure for basically a new financial system.
Yeah.
And you want to get this right, a truly decentralised financial system as well. And I have strong faith in Casper being able to achieve that.
Yeah, definitely. There is a quote, and we will get to it later, further down when we get to kind of like our favourite quotes. I'm sure it's from Michael Sutton, and it said, and this one isn't word for word because I am just remembering it. It said something like, "It takes being slow and patient to build something so fast." Obviously talking about.
You sounded just like Michael Sutton.
Do you know what? I'm pretty sure I said it first. Actually,
If I
am pretty
closed
sure
my
I did say it
eyes,
first, yeah.
if I close my eyes and you say it, it's
Yeah.
like he's in the room with me.
I remember when I saw him say it, I was looking for the bit next to it where he'd credit me for saying it.
Didn't
Yeah.
Charles Hoskinson
Yeah.
say something similar?
But yeah, we'll get to these quotes
About
later on anyway. But it
Ada?
just kind of summarised what Chris was saying there and how important it is to build it right the first time.
So, the Casper Research Forum is set up for researchers and developers from all across the world to possibly collaborate and contribute to Casper in a completely open
Two
source setting.
dragon fruits
So Michael
and
Sutton,
one green
wrote
thing.
a thread about the motivation for designing based ZK roll-up systems over Casper and how to design such a system. So if you're a developer or someone who's interested in this, certainly go and look at that, and you may even be able to contribute towards it. Or people have a lot of different ways that they can implement ZK roll-ups, for example. And
Trace
Michael
bananas.
Sutton's written a research paper basically explaining how he thinks
Two-
it can be
what are
done.
those,
So,
blackberries?
well worth a look at,
Raspberries?
especially if you're a developer and would like
Rasparagus?
to contribute to Casper's ecosystem.
It's a great thing to get all these great minds together and just let them sort of do whatever they do. So
Yeah, brainstorming
yeah,
and
keep
all
brainstorming,
sorts.
keep doing that kind of stuff, and this is just another way that they can now. Moving forward, Super Typo has launched the first open source release of the Simply Casper indexer, and this indexer will dramatically help users have instant
wanna
access
play hero.
to transaction blocks and other important data.
Yeah, which is just huge news for the developers or anyone who wants to build on top of Casper.
Uh-oh.
It really does help pull data quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Three
sometimes
bananas?
when you don't have an indexer, you're literally tracing through so much data that it is just a pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is massive news, and I'm pretty sure this was crowdfunded. I'm not sure if the crowdfunding's still going on, but if it is, because he hasn't released his
Really?
goal, certainly have a
Really?
look at that. It will
Seb!
more than likely be in Casper's Discord or even.
No. I thought you were getting a new PC. Oh, it's tomorrow. Ah. All right. Well, thanks so much for popping in. There's a lot when you can get in. At least to say that you can't stick around, but thank you. Good to see you. I hope you have a good time setting up that new PC tomorrow.
Developers are putting their time and effort, sweat equity into this, so.
You'd missed a silver medal performance.
How much do you want a decent
I definitely should have won. I feel like the snowman
we've all got to put our part towards it.
Cheated me out of a win.
Yeah, but a massive thank you to Super Typo. He's a great guy. So, in more news, Casper hash rate broke yet another record. An all-time high of 1.53 exahash. Yeah. So, again, this just proves that the people that are securing the network, the miners, are taking this seriously. They can obviously see something decent with Casper. Otherwise, you wouldn't waste your resource and energy. But this is also the point of proof of work. So yeah, and to be honest with you, this the all-time high hash rate keeps getting broken. Yeah. So I don't think there's going to be any slowdown on it at all.
No, it certainly seems to be a recurring point in every episode that we're broken the all-time high. So, and I don't want to point fingers or anything, but ever since we've started doing these What the Casper episodes, hash rate keeps going up, more all-time highs. Mara joined on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. There's no doubt in my mind.
Is causation correlation?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Marathon definitely looked into Casper because of Rock the
there's a chance.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so
probably. There should be a disclaimer somewhere.
There should be.
This is probably a lie.
But we will keep posting, and we're going to do that so that hash rate keeps going up.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow, and it helps us get out to more and more people. And it's just literally a few clicks of the button. So I don't know why you're wasting your time. Get down there and click those buttons right now.
If you haven't done it, why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. But thank you though to everyone who has.
Yeah, definitely.
And then moving forward with more Devon Tech updates. So in the true nature of Casper being transparent, the Casper's core research and development discussions, which were previously private, are now made public in a view-only Telegram group.
Yeah, which is brilliant because, like you said, if you're into that sort of thing, you can obviously follow the discussions and where their sort of heads are at the moment. And yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Well, the more open they are, the better.
Yeah, transparency is key.
Transparency is key.
I just think that's another really good step towards that. So brilliant news there.
Definitely.
And then I think it's worth an honourable mention for Devon Tech updates. Wolfie, Casper Hype Man, demonstrated Casper's unique ability to run a node on hardware that costs less than $100 on eBay. He ran a testnet 11 Rusty Casper on an 11-year-old 4-core hyper-threaded CPU with 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Lots of words there.
Lots of words. Please tell us more what that means.
Yeah, it's just pretty old hardware, that not many people use these days.
No, that's it. And that's pretty much all I'd say about it as well. But it looks very impressive.
But the main point of this is what Casper. What is so unique about Casper is it was designed this way with hardware in mind. Yeah. Because if you can run a node on hardware that costs less than $100, you'll be secure in the network. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant, and it's like do you remember? I can't remember his name now. Pratat.
Yeah, he did it off the phone.
He did it off a phone or a tablet.
Yeah,
it was like Liberated Potato.
That's it,
Liberated Potato. It's a similar thing. He ran testnet 11 off of a
busted him off
a really old iPad or a phone.
I think it's an old smartphone,
but yeah, again, it shows the awesomeness of Casper. The fact that the network's so secure, so powerful, yet can be run on hardware that's cheap as chips.
Definitely. Well, that's what helps keep it so decentralised, because if it's profitable to be a home miner, then it's not just going to be left up to these super factories of mining machines and stuff.
Well, it's like us. We've got the KSO Zero, haven't we? Pro or Ultra. I can't remember what it is.
One
now.
of them. Yeah.
One of them. But we've got that running in the background because it's like it secures the network. We do hit blocks every now and then as well, which is incredible because like we really statistically shouldn't, but we still do.
On target for making a profit this year, anyway.
Well, it is, to be honest with you, yeah. But it's so cheap to run it. I think it costs us like 30 quid a month, something crazy like that. Like it's not like really out of your pocket stuff. And it's cheap enough to run and leave on in the background so that it doesn't really hurt your pocket. And yeah, it's a cool thing to do. It secures the network and we may get a bit of profit out of it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's all good stuff. So yeah, basically that's the beauty of Casper as well. Everything's been thought out really, really well, and that's why Casper will be number one. I've got no doubt in my mind. And that's it for dev and tech updates.
Time to rock on to the latest Casper integrations. And we may as well kick off with Nexo, who have listed Cas.
Another golden
buy Cas
cup.
with card, Apple Pay,
Another
Google
golden
Pay,
cup.
and you can also borrow against the Cas as well, which well, sounds very exciting.
How do you get lucky on that?
Yeah, I mean that is exciting news.
Golden
But
cup's a
don't
golden cup.
Leverage, please don't leverage. Always have risk management at play when you're doing things like that. But again, really good to have the option to be able to do that. I think it's brilliant.
More listings just shows that the Casper ecosystem is growing, which is amazing. And there are more listings as well.
So we've got Bitcoin Tree. They've listed a Cas USDT pair.
They have. And Change Finance have now made it available to on-ramp Cas using fiat currencies.
Yeah, which is brilliant. We've also, Cas was in the top 10 purchased cryptos on the week ending 22nd of December on Topper, which is very good news, obviously.
It is, yeah. Good to see that it's up there. And then we've had a new wallet integration as well with Mac Wallet, now supporting the Casper network.
Yeah, which again, brilliant news. It just offers more options to people, and the more options you've got, the better it is. And finally, Ballet. They only need 200 more orders to push the custom silver commemorative coin to press. They are also donating a portion of all sales to the CMF, the Community Marketing Fund, which is awesome because, again, the CMF really does help Casper's adoption.
Go Casper.
Your purchases of this coin also go to help Casper. So positive flywheel there.
Exactly that. Everyone wins. You get a nifty coin.
Yeah.
That works as a cold storage wallet as well.
Yeah, which is
All right, so what side do I go up?
Part of the profits go to CMF.
Yeah.
Means more people find out about Casper.
Left or right?
Yeah. So that about wraps it up for the integration.
Where am I at?
Now let's
Right
rock on
side it
to
is.
notable X spaces and posts. So to kick off, the Get to Know Casper Crew podcast hosted by Hardeep Mehta continues. Previously covering people like Michael Sutton and Shy, he's now had a podcast with the Casper marketing chief, our very own Chad Ballantyne. Well worth a listen. It's great because he actually bigs us up a little bit in it. So definitely go watch that. So yeah, but his podcasts are great. He's got a really good knack because sometimes with hosts, they just like to talk too much.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
They just talk and talk and talk and talk because they love the sound of their own voice. But actually with Hardeep, he asks brilliant questions and then just lets the answers come out of people. So yeah, really, really good podcast there. Definitely worth watching.
Shame.
Yeah, definitely. And then moving on from that, so then the rest of these, I can't remember about the X posts really. And December, I tell you, it's been a cracking month for Casper quotes. There's just been so many. So here are some of our favourites. First one is, I would like Casper to be more of a long-term contender for the open financial system, which Ethereum lives in, while keeping faithful to the fundamentals of a Satoshi system. In a sense, Casper aims to implement a vision which once upon a time was Bitcoin's vision. And that was from Jonathan Sompolinski.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so that's a very big one anyway.
Yeah, and then following on from that amazing quote is a quote from Christian Ludwig. who
So
basically
close
just
on
said
that. I do
Casper
like
is
that mountain
Nagamoto,
race
which
as a
I totally
final.
agree with.
I must admit.
That was the final line of that post.
It's a good one.
That's right, yeah. Christian Ludwig, yeah.
I feel like
good
it's
post,
pretty much
about
open to
Casper being the
anybody.
most decentralized network in
It's
all
not
of
guessing
crypto,
certain
which was on
walls
his
to
X,
break
so go check
down,
that one out. But
or
again, that line,
you know,
Casper is
disappearing
Nakamoto
floors.
was the ending line.
tiles, I guess.
Because Casper is the end game.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Hey, you can't say too many of these quotes because he's got one coming up.
Hey!
So, and then our third one. So, based ZK rollups
Where you at?
over
Where
the
you at?
appropriate layer 1 are indeed endgame. And that was said by Michael Sutton.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with him. So our fourth quote comes from our very own Wolf, who is the owner
You're
of
wondering what that
Wolfie's
is in the
Bar,
background. That
who
is just a
lot of you will know by now accepts Casper's payment,
Podcast,
which is awesome. It's exactly what
Casper
is
talk,
used for.
essentially.
We need as many
I
merchants
am
as
a-
possible. Yeah, buying beer in a form. But
a Casper
he had
maxi
a
for
brilliant
sure.
quote, and he said crypto isn't just for holding and
yeah,
trading,
just listening to
it's
some
for living.
Casper talk.
The dream of using crypto to buy your coffee, dinner or drinks is becoming a reality, and Casper is leading the way. And he knows firsthand because he accepts Bitcoin as well as payment, but Casper just works so much better for him. So it's brilliant, and this is what we need. We need Casper to be pushed to the masses. It is just it's a better financial system because it's completely decentralised. You are your own bank, and that's exactly one of the many benefits of Casper for sure.
So, number 5, and I think it's only fitting that he should say it himself, was from this guy.
Yeah, it was. I basically put out a post and at the end said that Casper is the ultimate crypto problem solver. And I genuinely believe it is, because it's moved on really from just being digital silver now. It's actually grown so much to the point where it's actually solving all of the biggest problems, or potentially solving all of the biggest problems that crypto is facing. So it's already solved the trilemma. We're now moving on to MEV resistance and oracles, like to make sure that the information you're getting off chain going on chain is exactly correct. It's massive news for the crypto
Really?
space, because these are the biggest problems in crypto, and I mean, Casper is on its way to solving all of them.
All right, so I'm
solving
not
the
going to
trilemma wasn't
biff
enough.
this one like I did in the first
And then
round
followed
of the
on
day.
from that quote was a brilliant quote by Shy that says, "This reflects the cash value proposition much better than digital silver. We grew out of that narrative long ago. Solving the trilemma was just a start. We're en route to become the most secure, performant and egalitarian permissionless smart contract platform in history." Just hearing that gets you boosted up and wanting to take over the world. So yeah, it's a brilliant quote from Shy. He's a very deep thinker, well, he's a crypto researcher, and like I said, I learned so much from Shy. It's unreal. His stuff is just incredible. So yeah, definitely look up Shy's new X page as well, Understanding Ghost Dag. It just will help you out so much understanding complexities, because this is really smart stuff. Like, this isn't like, you can't really downplay it. It's not what normally we're used to, and I'm including myself in that. It's not what we're used to, and it's really genius stuff, but Shy breaks it down in such a way that it allows us normies to understand it.
It's a lot more than just this update's been done. Like, it's huge. The work they have to go into
Yeah,
to get it done.
the intricacies into it are massive.
Yeah.
But this is why Casper is the best tech out there.
It is, and that is a nice thing to follow on for our next favourite quote. Number 6 was from Chad Valentine, and it says, "I see Casper as the next evolution of digital cash and DLT."
Oh, second.
DLT,
Silver.
distributed
Silver.
ledger technology.
He's 100% right there. Casper's working its way through to become just the ultimate crypto.
Down
with
to
everything
5.
that they're wanting to implement.
All right. All right.
Like we
So
said
you're saying
before,
there's
we
a chance.
started
Don't
with
be
sort
the
of digital
rolling
silver narrative,
cylinder.
and that was huge as it was. It solved the trilemma. But now we're just
Or this
moving on
one.
to realms that can just help, not just the financial sector, but all sorts of industry. It's I can't wait. I literally can't wait. So brilliant quote there from Chad.
Yeah, definitely.
And then number 7 is
see, this
from
is what I was
Michael
talking
Sutton
about.
again.
You've gotta guess
It
which
takes
doors
being
to
slow
bust
and
through.
steady to build something which
Cool.
operates so fast, which is the quote that you said previously. And it's
Hey.
so true. Like,
Thank you for that.
this isn't something you can just
Somebody
hash together
somebody else
and
who
throw
hates
out there.
this
is
as a
stuff
final.
that needs to be thought about and tested, and then bugs fixed, and like this is such a massive feat that and the problems that they're solving are huge. That it's not just something you can just throw together. It has to be tested, has to be worked out mathematically. It takes time, but once it's done, like we'll look at the foundations Casper's got already.
Yeah.
The foundations are so strong, we can just build off of that now, and that's why we're moving from digital silver to
Get out of here.
beyond.
Definitely, yeah. And the thing that even strikes me more about
What?
that phrase, it takes being slow and steady to build something that operates so fast. As a Casper's
What
3
is
years
happening?
old, and it's done so much. In no way would I say it's been slow at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's done so well, and obviously that's due to the core team behind it. So yeah, I wouldn't even say it's been slow. Look at the problems they're solving.
Yeah, massive.
And what they've already sold in 3 years, that's like, it's insane. So, yeah, I get what they're saying, and it is correct, but even still, I wouldn't say they were slow at all.
No, totally agree with you, man.
Oh,
And then
no.
finally, Casper Currency's end of year post on X. A very nice summary of Casper's achievements last year.
what
and they ended by
happened?
asking what your one favourite Casper highlight of 2024
That's the
is,
closest I've
and
been
what you're
to
most excited
goaling
about with
up and
Casper in
crowning up on that
2025.
level.
Yeah, so.
The
if you wanna add to
closest
that,
I've ever been.
Well, I mean, feel free to post in our comments anyway, but if you want to add to the official thread, it's on the Casper Currency X
GTD.
account. Go find the post.
What is
the
up?
Big 2025
Thank you for the
one.
follow.
You can't miss it. And,
Appreciate you
start putting your favourite highlights.
Stopping by the channel.
Anyway, that wraps it up for notable X
Devastating.
faces and
Devastating.
posts.
Let's get stuck into events and conferences.
Apologies,
So,
I am just listening to some Casper stuff on the side
we're
here.
showcasing some
In
of
the
their
background.
projects utilising the Casper network. Gigawatt, their stablecoin, and Warp Core that adheres to the ISO 20022 standards.
Are
They
you
said
a
it
Fall
was
Guys
well
player, my
received,
friend?
by their
I'm going to
energy
assume
industry
yes.
colleagues, and they've posted all about it on their X profile.
Yeah.
And
So
probably
this
somebody that
was,
knows all the
an
ins and
event
outs and the
in
tricks.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
Tips and tricks.
Again, Casper KI are really looking forward to what Casper can be used for.
Yeah.
There's certain things that need to be implemented on Casper first before they can really get stuck into it. But the thing is, they're
Little
planning
dabbly
it now
doos.
for when that's ready, and it's really exciting stuff. Like I said, Warp Core, for example. It basically knocks XRP
Where
out.
are you on the
It does.
on the crown
it
counts?
then makes it better than Ripple because it complies to the standards that it needs to be. But it's
Others
done
that I have
in a
on
completely
here.
decentralized way. So
Samuel,
yeah,
what is it?
exciting
Samuel
stuff.
MK.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. And look
That,
forward to
that
seeing,
dude is just,
development from
he just
Casper
crushes it
KI
with the
anyway.
crowns.
And it
Hundreds
seems like
upon
they're
hundreds,
following,
if not thousands.
the same as kind of what Casper's done in the way that
And then my boy
kind of
Rex,
does everything all the others do, but better.
he's got a bunch.
Hoping that they can.
I, on the other
put
hand,
into their projects.
not so many.
Moving on to the next event. So
So the next event, Esma, the Turkish Casper ambassador,
400
attended
yeah,
an
see,
event
that's
with the Binance TR and
wild.
spoke to the Binance
Wild.
TR general manager about Casper.
So I'd have to say
Which
that's a
again,
little bit
brilliant
more than
news,
dabbling, my
because,
man.
When Binance. That's what everybody does.
Looking for Casper on Binance.
And I mean, I think Binance's interns are probably just.
I feel
don't even
like
want
that
to
might
switch the
make
computer
you
on, 'cause all
a
they get
Fall
is
Guys
people saying,
connoisseur.
When Casper.
yeah, when Cash, when
Opposed to
Cash,
a
when
dabbler.
Cash.
Yeah,
But it's a great question, and we're going to ask it as well. When Cash?
when Casper. When Casper.
Yeah, the clock
We
is
know that you know that
We
we
know you know that we know you know we know.
We know you know.
So when?
When?
And I'm pretty sure that's probably how the conversation went.
Definitely, yeah.
But no, great job. The event looked cool. The stuff we looked at looked
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
did.
So,
Yeah, looked really nice actually. Really.
did.
All right, here we go. Here we
And
go.
Esma went on to say that they're going to just
Spinners.
keep pushing Casper and
Do I try and stay elevated or do I drop down?
Great work.
What's
And
the-
there's
what's the
been
trick on this one?
Loads of content now.
It's not
I
that
know
it
we
really
covered
matters,
it
but-
last episode, but all the content's starting to push through now.
Is it in?
And people are doing their own edits
Upper
and
or
videos,
downer?
articles and stuff, and it looks amazing. So there's been loads of this content. about Casper's 3rd birthday. All the celebrations just posted everywhere, so that's all over X. You can check out the Casper Currency X profile. You probably will have to scroll down now, but it is all on there. And you'll also find some content from the Oz CryptoCon as well, including a YouTube video about the CasFan meetup in Sydney by Luke as well. So definitely go check all that stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, there's some brilliant footage from all of that, from speakers and like the meetups as well, on Casper's official YouTube channel. So again, you can look there for the snippets there.
Definitely. And that about wraps it up for events and conferences.
Okay, let's rock on to articles and write-ups.
Articles and write-ups.
Starting with Casper Currency posted an infographic and
Whoa,
post with some
that
short
just-
layman's explanations of key features
Rockets.
implemented into the testnet 11 10 blocks per second hard fork, basically making it easier to understand what Kit
No
9
way,
is
I hit that little
and all
bumper.
the other integrations that they put in.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it. There's
dude.
just been, because there's been
Seriously?
so much happening with Casper lately, especially all like the update side of it with Crescendo and Sparkle coming around now. There's just been so many technical words being thrown around and implementations, and again, it's kind of like, oh, cool, that looks cool.
Yikes.
Let's grab that solved. We don't
Yikes.
really know, one, what
That
it means,
was
or two,
painful.
how much work went into doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of what we've been talking about earlier on. So yeah, that was a great explanation. Definitely helped me out. So if you are struggling with stuff like that, do just keep checking
Awful.
out Casper Currency. They got your back.
Awful.
Definitely.
And again, just another mention of Casper Kai and all their
got some more.
write-ups
We got
for
some
their
more.
projects
That's fine.
all over their
That's fine.
X
Shake it
profile.
up.
So if you want to see about Warp Core and
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot, haven't they? They've got,
it's got loads, yeah. Head on to their X, it's at Casper KII, and check them out. They've got loads of articles showcasing their projects.
And then we got an amazing write-up by Luke on his X account about proof of work, born to fight spam, perfected to power the future.
Yeah.
And it's
Perfected to
brilliant. It
fight
just
the
shows you
future.
the true beauty of proof of work.
Yeah, it really does. It goes from the origins of proof of work. that
People
came
in,
around
people
to
out.
fight essentially spam emails.
Stick around, folks. Chat it up.
I can't remember when. I was
Come
gonna
on,
say
let me
like
know what's going
1800s,
on.
But they probably didn't have emails in the 1800s, but a long time
Don't
ago.
worry about terrible gameplay. Just,
King Henry
just
VIII.
Yeah.
come and hang out.
Stop that
Struggling
bloody
with this bloody
spam.
spam
No?
coming
Yeah.
through. Yeah, Hastings
Too much
Direct
ask, I
coming
guess.
through.
I guess.
But so they got rid of all that stuff.
It must be.
And essentially, they're saying about it costing a minimal amount of money to send an email. It's then going to stop people sending spam. because
They
it's not
are
worth
talking
sending
Casper
spam.
Coin, yes. Yes.
If it costs you money, and then how that
I've got,
pushed all the way through to
I've got a
Casper
bit of
and
a
what Casper's
bag.
doing now. So really good write-up. Sorry.
And really interesting stuff. And like
So,
I said,
yeah.
it's
And
a
I
good bit of
do just
history behind proof of work as well.
like the-
and
I like
like
the
said,
project.
How far it's come now with Casper. It's awesome.
At first,
like
I
the
didn't know
project.
what the problem was with spam, because I love spam. Spam on toast, spam on eggs. We love it in the UK, so I didn't know what his problem was. Then I read it, and yeah.
I don't even know if spam's a global thing. It's probably not,
Probably
because
not,
it's
no.
so disgusting. Only the UK would eat it.
Yeah.
But if you're wondering, look up spam fritters. They're disgusting.
Yeah, real good.
Damn.
Processed meat in a tin. He loves them. Anyway, that's about it for notable write-ups.
Right, let's keep it rocking and move on to adoption.
All right, let's see if I can
So
actually
for
get
all
by
of
this
you out
one this
there
time.
wondering, what can I do to help? You can check out this source from Rhubarbarian. Again, it will
All
be
right.
linked below.
And although it was designed for Casper
All right.
investors, it's
That's
a
what I should have
great
done
resource
last
for
time.
Anyone. More to-do suggestions will be added, and it is a great resource.
Are you
Like I
interested in
said,
Casper at
we're
all, or
completely decentralised with Casper, so it's up to all of us to do our part. If you believe,
Are you in
Casper,
crypto at all?
and I certainly do. So, and I know a lot of people out there do as well. And there's people that often ask like, "Oh, what can we do to help?" These resources are great place to start.
Yeah, definitely. So if we can do a very quick summary. If you're asking, what can I do to help? Scroll down, on your way past, click like and subscribe, step number one.
Yeah.
And then in the description will be this Google Doc, so jump on and check it out.
And then further on from adoption, optical proof of work initiative from the KII.
Yeah.
So again, this is just something the KII are looking into. It's a work in progress, and like again, these you've got to manage your expectations. These initiatives and programs like this, they don't just happen overnight. It's a long process. There's a lot to deal with, especially with optical mining. This isn't something that's been done properly yet. So yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be put into it. But the fact that they're looking into it is really exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And that about wraps it up for adoption.
Now let's have a look at some marketing.
Marketing.
There's been a few posts that we've seen about
freaking birds.
Casper trending on Google and X, and one of the top 10 coins purchased on swaps. So this again is very exciting news because it shows the adoption of Casper, or at least the fact that people are hearing about it and wanting to learn more about it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. So I know it targets.
Get out of here, crocodile.
Kind of thing with phones and all the rest of it, but whenever I sort of scroll accidentally to one side, I get all this new stuff pop up on my phone. And there's always stuff about Casper. Like, now, again, I know that's more than likely targeted at me, but the fact is, these articles are being written, and there are proper articles, proper news outlets making articles about Casper, and they are pushing it out. You've only got to Google Casper, look in the news section, and it's just, you're scrolling for days, right? There's so many in there. So that's really, 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 really good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
More people are putting it up.
And again, the fact that the Casper X account, the official Casper X account, is almost at 240,000 followers. From a really relatively new coin with no paid marketing.
Nice.
Is just
nice. That's
that
has been a long run.
How much Casper is.
You're sitting pretty.
Is getting adopted and people are looking into it.
Sitting pretty.
And also, did you know that on X, Casper's impressions in December 2024 were over 9 million? And engagement, clicks, retweets,
Casper's been the one
almost
that's
500,000. It's actually a huge month compared to
got a bunch of conviction
when the price was higher. So even with our Casper
I've held Sol, I've held BTC,
we're reaching millions. Over this
I've held
year,
ADA, XRP,
times 10,000 new followers
it's almost
each month. Like that
like
is massive growth.
The market knows
growth. And
that
again,
I sold at a bottom.
Like
things would just pump right up. So
this is all done from
I'm just focusing on Casper at this point,
not
letting it sit, letting it cook.
Ads,
gonna let it go,
and it just shows
it definitely does. I mean, obviously there are a
it
cost
just
to some
burns my
things.
ash.
It's the reason we have the CMF.
As soon as I dropped, and it happened multiple times. As soon as I cut loose
whatever it'll be
on something,
it's been on things
it would
like
jump up 15-20%. Just like, good God.
Helping ambassadors get
in XRP's case,
like
it was multiple X's.
It definitely gets put to good use.
So,
and like I said, the proof's in the
I've got to
pudding.
just sit with
Look at
one
the stats, and it's working.
And see how it goes.
And again, I'm pretty sure the CMF are now are looking for extra funding. So, as we've shown you here, it is obviously working. If you want to contribute towards that, please do. You can find the CMF wallet address in the links below. And that wraps it up for marketing.
And finally, let's dive into our feature merchants.
How do you not?
So, Rue Barbarian is going to be starting a new series of interviews with notable Casper merchants and other enterprise market adopters, showcasing Casper's real-world use cases and meeting cool Caspers from around the globe. So that is something that we're looking forward to seeing. Cannot wait to see, and it'll be a great place to
all of
our existing
what is happening?
A great job.
This is insane.
Well, leading the way forward, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Innovating and pushing the world in the right direction.
Yeah, and I say this every time. If somebody, as a business owner, is accepting Casper's payment, definitely look at using them. If you can, use them, because this is what real-world adoption is about. It's actually about using your CAS to transact with. And like some people do say, well, I'm not going to be that Bitcoin guy who spent his money on pizzas and things like that. But that really is sort of the wrong way to look at it. If you can have your investment, that's fine. But you're using fiat anyway to buy these products. All you have to do is convert your fiat into Casper to buy the products. That's actually helping, because if you're buying groceries, if you're going on holiday, Traveller, for example, you can use them. Just use CAS, because that is actual real-world adoption. You can still have your investment bot, it doesn't matter. I mean, I do it all the time at Wolfie's Bar. Before I go, I load up my CAS of
All right,
pretty
here we
much
go.
what I'm going to spend. And then
Here we go.
sometimes I don't spend
Am I
that
gonna make
amount
it?
and I'll get
Probably
a bit
not.
of extra cash to put,
Probably
or
not.
CAS to put into my investment.
Am I gonna
portfolio.
get close?
Just split it up like that.
Maybe.
So genuinely, if you can, these people are putting themselves out there, and obviously believe in Casper. So believe in them. Help with everything. We can make really a good circular economy going with CAS.
Definitely. Yeah, honestly, I couldn't add anything extra to that. That's spot on.
It was brilliant.
It was really brilliant.
That was
Yeah.
brilliant of me. I love my little rants sometimes.
Yeah, we all do. We all love it.
No one does. They're terrible. Anyway, I think that is pretty much about it for Feature Merchants.
Get out of here.
And that pretty much wraps it up for this episode as well. So, Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah,
Looking
definitely.
forward to a whole 2025 of pure Casper content.
It is going to be a
Rock the Casper.
Yeah, it's going to be a blinding new year for
Nuts.
Casper.
It is.
Nuts.
So very, very excited to see
Holy.
Casper's 4th year as it unveils.
Yeah. it's gonna be
Oh,
So,
stupid alligator.
keep it rocking, Casper.
And we'll see you next month.
All right. Time to listen why the Sim Magic Alpha.
Hey guys, today we're having a look at the SimMagic Alpha Mini, in my opinion the best wheelbase you can buy in the 10 to 12 Nm range. The usual disclaimer first, this loaner unit was provided by SimMagic for the review, but obviously they do not get to see the video before it's posted and all the opinions are my own. So for whatever reason, I've pretty much ignored SimMagic in the past. I don't really know why, maybe because the distributor network was a little bit complicated in the past and I had no idea how to actually get access to their gear, but well, here we go. I have been testing the Alpha Mini and I've also been testing their pedals, the P1000, and spoiler first, both products are absolutely
I'm not
amazing.
sure.
In this
I
review, we'll
was
talk
in
about the Alpha
Honeyland
Mini, but there will
for
be a review of the P1000 on the
a
channel
long
as well
time,
soon.
and
We'll
that
start
was
with the
solely
price. Here
on
in Germany,
just
you pay
based on the team.
649 euros, including
And
taxes. And the design seems to be very inspired.
It was entertaining.
By
It was entertaining.
a competitor, and the build quality also.
But it
is
depends
very,
on what
very
you're
good.
looking
I think
for. Are you
it's
looking
pretty
for
much a nicer
just like a
looking
low-key-
I like the carbon fiber accent in the front and the logo with the LED.
What would
Looks
it be?
very
I guess
nice.
resource
We'll start
management
with the mounting options, and I think this is
type game?
a base with the best mounting
It
options.
might be one
on
to
the
look
market.
into.
We do have the bottom mount option. It uses the Fanatec hold pattern. So if you have a rig where
I'm
you
not-
mount it from the bottom, you can do this. You can also mount it from the sides. These holes
just don't
here
know
are
that
about 15 millimeters from the bottom.
there's
so it will
much
work
that
perfectly
can be
fine
done
with
in the
typical
gaming
820
space with it.
profiles for side mounting.
There
Or you
has to
can
be
also
something.
just front mount it. It uses the same hold pattern as the SimiCube 2 Ultimate. It's pretty much you can mount this
Oh
however
my.
you wish. The only thing that is a little odd, we have the connection for power and USB on the side. So if you use something like me, the SimCore front mount for example, the brackets will cover this, so you will have to mount it 90 degrees rotated with the cables facing up. Not a big deal, but the logo in the front will show to the right side. I don't know if your OCD can handle this, but yeah, it's not a big deal. And if you want to get
What have you
really,
tried
really
so far?
picky, basically the only complaint regarding build quality I found, you have the two holes for the front mount on top, and the screw will just go through it, come out of the other side. But on the bottom you have pretty much two pieces. You have that front piece and you have the center piece. And both parts are threaded, but it does not really align. So you can screw in the screw through the front piece, but it will basically stop and you cannot access the center piece threads because it's not perfectly aligned. Maybe just put a normal hole in the center piece so the screw goes through, but let's be honest, you can also just use screws that are not too long and then it's not really a big deal. According to SimMagic, this is a 10 Newton meter base, but honestly, I think it feels more than that. It feels more powerful than the Moza R12, for example, which is rated at 12. And it's probably in that sweet spot force feedback range for most people. I
This is what
personally
I'm gonna try and
prefer
get.
a bit more FFB to have the headroom and to be able to run really high force feedback. So I actually really would love to check out their Alpha Ultimate with 23 Newton meters, I think. But like I said, for most people, this will be fine.
looking to get
but
into
with a
some
smaller
sim
base
stuff.
like this, what you have to consider
Gran
is
Turismo
overheating
style.
and clipping of the force feedback. But more on that later. We do have a servo motor with an 18-bit encoder. That means it can measure an angle with a resolution of, I have to read that, 0.00137 degrees should definitely be sufficient, and it's more than most competitors in this price range. There's pretty much only the offerings from Simicube and Azatec that offer 22 or 24-bit encoders. Whether you really will notice a difference between an 18-bit and a 22 or 24-bit encoder, I doubt it, but I also haven't tested it. The motor does feel very smooth. You notice a tiny bit of cogging when you turn it when the motor is not powered on, but it's pretty much in line with the offerings from Simicube, Azotec, VRS, and it's completely gone and super smooth once you turn on the unit. Many competitors in this price range use BLDC motors, which will never feel as good as the PMSM servo motor type that is being used in something like the Simicube or the Simagic Alpha Mini. And this thing still feels smoother when turned off than some of the competitors when turned on. The motor is very compact and light with very low mechanical inertia, which allows higher acceleration of the motor, which then will lead to a great responsiveness in the force feedback. Then on the front, it uses the NRG style quick release, which in my opinion is the best on the market.
I
don't really
saw that you sent a message.
Because there's always
I'm gonna read that
just
here shortly, but I did see that you're in Honeyland, so that's awesome. I love that.
Trigger the flags, but there's pretty much
Love that you're in there.
And Simagic actually was the first manufacturer to adopt the NRG quick release in 2018, and they modified it for sim racing to get the power connection onto it. All the data connection to the wheels is done wirelessly, but I think it's a very clever
Alright, what do you have to
It's
say?
also proven excellent QR from the
Is it
market
keep
and then
squeezing the
adopted
resources?
to the sim racing needs. According to Simagic, they also patented this quick release, but I guess they didn't do it very well.
True,
Considering that
true.
competitors
So,
like Moza or Camus, for example, are
I mean,
using
I've
pretty
been
much the same
away
idea, but
from,
it's pretty much plug and play.
like
You
any
put
other
on the wheel,
updates
you
since
don't
they
have to configure
introduced.
anything. It
Was it
automatically
Wax?
connects to the base using some 2.4 gigahertz
So I've been out
wireless
since
communication,
then.
and it's really easy to use, and I've never had any issues with drop connections.
But yeah, I
And the
mean,
wireless
it
power
is a
actually done
deflationary
very clever. There's no cable going from
token,
the back
right?
of the
Like
unit with the
HXD is
electronics to the
deflationary.
front. We'll actually take this apart
So
and I'll
they're
show you how
going
it
to
works.
have to
So if you loosened
penny
the
pinch, I
clamp,
suppose, for lack of a
you
better
can
term,
take
when it
the
comes
whole
to
front
its
assembly off, and you see there's no direct
minting.
connection between the base and the quick release part. And how it's being done, you can see here in the back there's a little PCB, and I can't really take this off completely to show you on camera, but think of it like a wireless charger for your phone. So there's the power transmitter in the base that sends the power wirelessly to this other PCB on the receiver, which is the quick release shaft assembly. And then when the shaft rotates, it still will get the power independent of the position it's in, because the circular power delivery board and the circular power receiver board will always be on top of each other, and there's always continuous power. I think this is a very clever idea to just have the power being transferred via these two PCBs and then just communicate to the wheel wirelessly. And then once the power arrived at the receiving end on the QR, there's a little cable that goes through the shaft, goes to this PCB, and you can see there are some pads for ground and power. And if we look at the steering wheel, you can see there are some of these pogo pins to receive the power, and then the wheel can establish the wireless communication to the base. Very clever idea and well executed by Simagic. Next we'll have a quick look at their new SimPro software, version 2. And it's a very decent looking software. You have an overview with all the most important settings at a glance.
Have they
when you
added
start it.
anything
The
cool
UI
to the
sometimes
game?
Can feel a little
Recently.
bit overwhelming, but we are in sim racing and most softwares just are like that, to be honest. But it is much better than the old software, I think.
From what I think
And if
somebody
we go
had
into
mentioned
the
that
more
they
detailed section
have
for the
released
steering wheel,
Universe
you have
2
the typical stuff like the rotation angle and how the bump
with
stop will
the
feel, and then obviously
land
the strength.
rentals.
I would recommend, especially on weaker bases like that, always set this to 100% and then turn down the force feedback in the game. Then there's the smoothness filter. Think of it like a kind of low pass
How
filter.
is that,
It will filter out
how is that new
high-frequency
wrinkle?
noise and make the force feedback feel
As
a
opposed to
little
land
bit
ownership
more,
from Universe
smooth.
1.
But I think it kind of costs a lot of detail, and I personally wouldn't go higher than 1 or 2 in this filter. Then rotation speed basically controls how fast the wheel can react in terms of changing the angular velocity. If you turn this too
Oh my
high,
God.
the wheel can oscillate.
I
But don't
missed the
confuse
drum
this
right
with
off
slew
the-
rate. It's actually
right
really
off the
setting
get-go.
how fast the base can turn and not how fast it can change the torque of the force feedback output. Because that would be the feedback detail, which is more like the slew rate on other bases. They say you can enhance the suspension effects with that, but I think that description is maybe a little bit misleading. It's pretty much how fast the torque arrives in your hand. And then you also have the feedback frequency filter, which is pretty much like the interpolation filter from other bases. If you have a game with a high force feedback frequency, like ACC for example, you want to turn this very low. And if you have a game with a slow force feedback refresh rate, like iRacing for example, you want to turn this a little bit up. Then in the advanced settings, you can also configure a centering spring for older games. Or something that I actually like is the center damping, which I have at around 10 to 14%, which helps a little bit with the oscillations when you let go of the wheel. Alright, let's talk about the force feedback next. And I actually was surprised how good and detailed
I
it
do
is.
miss
I'm
that
used to
team.
much higher force
Sorry,
feedback
just getting
than
back
what
to
the
the
space can
Honeyland
provide, so the
topic.
reduced headroom definitely is noticeable, but like I
I
said
do
earlier, I
miss-
think it's probably enough
miss
for most
the
people. And SimMagic also provided me
Honeyland
with
team.
this GTC steering wheel, which is 325 millimeters.
Man, they were
Actually a very
so
nice
good.
steering wheel, but I personally think it's not a good fit for this base because I would recommend
So
to go with something
flipping
that is a
good.
bit
Justin,
lighter and more
Corey.
compact so you can feel as much force feedback in your
Man.
hands as possible. So when I have been testing this base, I was using the GSI X29, which feels like a very good fit for the base. #ad. But honestly, smaller, lighter wheels like this, or for example the Cube F Core, are in my opinion a better fit. SimMagic also has the FX line formula wheels, which I would recommend to pair with a base like this. I will make a review of the GTC wheel as well, but I will do that when I pair it with a stronger base and not with the Alpha Mini. But anyways, back to the force feedback. I set the base to 34 Nm in game on iRacing, which will only clip here and there and feels very nice overall. By the way, 34 Nm, that means that if the virtual steering rack, the simulated steering rack on iRacing, will have a force of 34 Nm, that will then be mapped to 100% of what the base can put out. So if you actually want to decrease the force feedback, you want to increase this number. So let's say you set it to 50 instead, then the simulated steering rack will have to have a force of 50 Nm to map that on what the base can put out. And once I adapted to the lower torque output, I actually was matching my lap time
Show off.
with my SimCube 2 Pro. All the details are there, you can absolutely feel what the car is doing. And I think the only thing they could improve are the oscillations when you let go of the wheel. It's not terrible, but I think SimCube is doing this the best, and I have yet to see anyone being close to SimCube when it comes to this oscillation-free operation. I mean, yeah, you can definitely tweak the settings to get less oscillations, but then you will lose detail, and it's always a compromise. Also, something that I have been reading on the internet in the last few weeks is people report that the base gets weaker once you use it a lot on high force feedback and it gets hot. It also seemed to be talked about more now that some companies use it in their marketing, but I personally think this is pretty much irrelevant on a motor like this. Torque reduction is
Irrelevant.
something that will happen and that
Oh
has to
boy.
happen because
Oh boy.
according to CE regulations,
close.
and obviously this
Getting
is a
close.
CE compliant product, once the surface of the base reaches a specific temperature, 70 degrees according to CE, it has to reduce the torque output in order not to get hotter. You're not allowed to have touchable surfaces get higher than 70 degrees because 70 degrees is hot. But I actually did some tests, and this is not super scientific. I basically used the force meter and then measured the force that I had to put at a specific point of the steering wheel. This is roughly 14 centimeters from the center to hold the wheel outside of the allowed steering range. So if you go over the bump stop, the base will basically put out the maximum torque to get it back within that configured wheel range. So I basically went over those 900 degrees rotation and then held the wheel stationary and measured the force. And the measurements I did, they will not have the perfect absolute accuracy because the tools that I used, it's a relatively affordable force meter. You can spend thousands on these things, and this is like a cheaper unit for 150 euros or so.
Get outta
And I
here.
also used my Uni pizza oven thermometer to measure the surface temperature of the base. By the way, if you like pizza, then do yourself a favor and get one of those Uni ovens. This is not sponsored, but you can thank me later. Anyways, so this should not give the perfect absolute accuracy, but it will be good enough to compare it relatively. So what I did, I turned on the base, measured the surface temperature, very simple like that. It was 22 degrees, while we have 24 here right now because the room is a bit hotter. But 22 degrees after startup, and I measured the torque
Oh, wow,
output
okay.
at 13.5 Newton meters. Like I
Now,
said,
is it
this might
NEV
not
or
give
does
you
it need to be a
the
certain
perfect 13.5,
generation?
It might be
Does it have to be
11,
Genesis?
It might be 14,
I'm
whatever. It's
gonna
just
guess it's not
compared to the
12
numbers I
Genesis
got
speeds, but
once the base.
Like, do they have to be of
What
a
I did
certain
then
level?
is I drove for 2 hours with way too high force feedback settings. Like I was clipping all the time. I actually had it in-game set to 20 Newton meters, which is, don't use that. It's too high. You can't really feel a lot of details. Actually surprising how quick you can
Siege,
still
okay.
go with the base that is clipping all the time. But anyways, I drove for 2
Interesting.
hours like that, then measured the surface
Interesting,
temperature, which
that's,
was 50 degrees, and the torque
guess that's a
output that I
cool
measured
way of
using
doing
the
it.
force meter was 13.2 Newton meters. So a drop of 0.3
I definitely did love
over 2
owning
hours, which I
the
think
land
is fine,
outright.
and I don't think anybody would actually be able to tell that from just driving the car, and I don't think it will be noticeable. Especially
it
since
does
the base
open
will
up
not get as hot
land
if you use a reasonable
ownership
amount of force feedback, like 34 for example, where you barely get
to a
any
bunch of
clipping.
people,
so
I guess.
a 0.3 drop is fine in this case. And then I've done another test that you should definitely not do at home. What I've done is I turned the wheel over the bump stop so it will put out the full torque to go back into the allowed wheel range, and I held it there for 10 minutes. Don't do that at home, it's not good for the base. It will heat up quite a lot, it will use a lot of power, but I was curious what will happen, so I did that
Okay.
anyways. Sorry Simagic, the base still works, the loner unit, so
Oh,
that's good.
that's how
But
they
after
did it,
10 minutes
okay.
of doing that, I measured the
Alright, that
surface
makes
temperature.
sense.
You don't want to
I was
touch it
curious
at
as to
this
how they
point
were going
because it's
to-
hot. It was 68
how to do that,
degrees,
but it's a
so
it's a
barely below
selection.
that 70 C limit from the CE test.
Interesting.
And what I measured then was a torque of 12.6 Newton meters. So roughly 1 Newton meter less than with a cold base. And like I said, this is a completely irrelevant scenario that will never happen in real life. But I think from 13.5 to 12.6 is still pretty much negligible. And I personally doubt that anybody actually will feel that. Especially it's not like you drive, it's 13.5 and then bam, it's 12.6 anymore. It's a slow process of torque reduction. So I really, really do not think that is noticeable. Alright, with that out of the way, I think we need to talk about the competition. And I think this is the best base.
Get outta here,
you can buy at this
crocodile.
price point. There's nothing that really comes close. Simagic also has a very good ecosystem these days. Even if you do not like their steering wheels, the wheelside QR is 79 euros, which I think is a fair price considering that you get
Nick,
the best
what's
QR
up?
on the market.
Welcome,
so you
welcome,
can just
welcome.
add your favorite wheel. No, I'm kidding. Just add your favorite wheel. I would recommend a smaller diameter
Good
for
to
this.
see
and you're
you,
good to
my
go.
friend.
The biggest competitor in terms of price is the Mozart R12. It's also 649 euros.
This is
but I
actually-
think the
I'm
Simagic
going into
Alpha Mini
overtime. This is
better
the
at any
last
point pretty much,
round. This is the
except
end
for
of the
maybe
stream.
software. I think Mozart has a cleaner UI. They
started-
also
I even
have a
started
few
late.
more options to customize
I even
the
started
force
late.
feedback, but apart from that, I think the Simagic is doing everything better. Then
But I do
there's
play
nothing
this
really from
every
Fanatec
Saturday.
in that range that I would recommend. There's the new Club
Between
Sport DD
8 and
coming
9
soon,
a.m.
which
Eastern
should be
time.
significantly smoother than their current offerings, at least if you look at those explosion pictures that they showed at the expo.
But yes,
we'll have to see how that
any
one
Saturday
performs.
that you
But
see
then
me
there's
on,
also the Azatec
definitely,
La Prima
definitely
bundle
always
at
up for getting
1,050
a
euros.
viewer
Unfortunately, you cannot buy the base
in to
alone,
play with me.
and honestly, I'm not
Usually
really a fan
Sam
of how
LK
the La
Sam
Prima steering wheel looks like, but I do
Samuel
have to say
MK
that it's still a
Keepers.
good wheel. I do have the
Is
Forte
usually
base
on,
here,
but,
which
his
also feels
PC's
great
down.
and has a good
He's
QR,
usually
and
on.
the La Prima feels
dude
like
can-
the Forte, just with less
that dude
headroom.
can crush
I mean, it's
on
using
this
exactly
game.
the same motor, just
So, yeah.
with tamed down electronics, power supply, no LEDs and stuff like
Would
that. but the
definitely
motor is
love to
exactly the
have
same.
you
Then I think
aboard.
this would also be a great option. The force feedback of both units feel very good, very comparable. I doubt that I would be able to tell them apart in a blind comparison if you just gave me the steering wheel and then I had to guess is it the Azatec or the Simagic. I think I couldn't do that. This QR looks like, well, let me actually take this apart. Looks like that, so this is typically on the unit connected to this cable. It's also very good, no flags. It does have a very high price point for the inside of 150 euros, unfortunately. But it has one
think
big
I just
advantage.
griefed
They do
that
not use like
alligator.
wireless power
Let's see.
transmission. As you can
Let's
see,
see
there's
that
a cable
alligator
coming
gun.
out of this shaft.
Oh,
They actually use
yeah.
a slip ring to transfer the whole USB signal.
Get
to
outta
the
here.
goodies. And you can see there are these
Get
little
outta here,
pins here
alligator.
on top. 6 pogo pins, and you have the 4 signals for USB on there. And then on the wheel side, you have these 6 pads, and you can just connect your steering
not
wheel
final yet?
either via this short USB cable,
Okay.
very nice for existing wheels, or there's also the possibility to connect it internally to any steering wheel. So you have the 6
Insanity.
pads that will give you the full USB signal, and then here you can just like solder your steering wheel USB connection directly to it and have
What are
everything
you
internally. I
doing?
think this is a very, very nice solution, because with this you can basically make any steering wheel, I don't want to say wireless because there are wires involved, but it's pretty much wireless for you in a way how to attach and detach the wheels. I think I personally
Crazy.
would probably still
crazy
go
guy.
with the Simagic Alpha Mini because I just like the classy look of this, the matte black. Not a huge fan of the more gamer look of the Azatec bases, but still both of these bases perform very well and you can't go wrong with either. I think if Azatec was to offer the La Prima base for around 650 euros without a steering wheel, it would be a very tough choice between these two. Alright, honestly
Cool.
I think there's nothing else that
Oh
should
boy,
be mentioned
I'm
here.
biffing
There's
this
the
hard.
DRS base at 900 euros, but you need to add a QR, then you're looking at more like 1,100 euros, which then is very close to the SimMagic Alpha Ultimate, which would probably be a better buy at that price point. At least if it performs as well as the Mini. I haven't tested it, but if it's not worse, then I would probably pick up the Alpha Ultimate. So yeah, to sum it up, I was very pleasantly surprised by this base. I think the force feedback is very, very good and only falls short to the offerings from Simicube. The QR, in my opinion, is the best on the market. It's very nice and satisfying to put on a wheel. You have the power on the QR. If they maybe can develop a second version that works similar to the Aztec stuff and also has the USB signal on the QR, that would be
Final, here I come.
And I think the only downside that I can really see is the little odd cable placement on the side. I've had no reliability issues in my testing phase with this unit, but typically it takes several months or years to really find out how reliable a unit is. So I think this is not really information that reviewers like me can really give you.
Oh,
Rated at
Cuphead.
10 Newton meters.
Oh,
but it feels
Cuphead.
more than those 10 Newton meters. I think it hits the perfect sweet spot for most people, and it's probably the direct drive that
Cuphead
most
gone.
of you should buy. I hope I'll get the Alpha Ultimate for testing soon as well. If that one performs just as well as the Mini, just with more headroom, then I think it could be the best bang for the buck direct drive you can buy. But yeah, that's it for the review. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below or join one of the live streams. I also now stream on YouTube, by the way. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at around 12:30 German time. We also have a community Discord. Feel
German.
free to join that.
Germans.
And yeah, if you like the video,
The
maybe give it a
Germans.
thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to not miss any future videos. And thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you on the next.
The Germans. So we've got wildcard weekend coming up in NFL. My Cowboys are not in it, which is great. Can't wait for Jerry Jones to not be part of the Cowboys ever again. But from what I understand, his boy is not much better. So we're pretty much rude. Oof. Uh-oh. Was that it? Nope. That was it. That was a bump that ended my run. Wow. Lightning. Lightning fast. Good gosh. I'm terrible. I'm flipping terrible at this. So bad. But it is so fun. That's what I said. Frustration and fun. Each and every week. Nick, thanks so much for joining me. Tina. Solely Tina. And that's what I'm gonna go with. Thank you all for joining. I hope that Honeyland works out. If you find any other games, any other crypto games, let me know. Pop back in another time. Let me know what you found. And I might take a peek. That being said, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings at about 6 or 7 p.m. Easternish, and again on Saturdays, Fall Guys. Of course, between 8 and 9 a.m. Eastern time. So do tune back, check me back, follow, sub, do all that good stuff so you're notified. Check me out on Twitch when I will be posting when I'm going to be streaming. Not necessarily what I'll be streaming. Sometimes I don't even know. But that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As SG80 come to you from Glorious Shadowville. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, a lot of love. Until the next one, I'm out. Peace.